Today is Friday, October 18th. Good morning from the Civic Media News Desk. I'm Joanne Krulotz. The Department of Natural Resources is asking you to avoid burning due to elevated fire danger across the state. The DNR is partnering with the National Weather Service to monitor the situation over the weekend. Current wildfire concerns are primarily due to lack of precipitation statewide and gusty winds. You should avoid outdoor burning, operate equipment early in the morning to avoid sparks at peak burn hours, and hold off on having campfires until later in the evening. More information is available on the DNR website. NOAA's Climate Prediction Center reports there is a 60% chance that a weak La Nina will develop this autumn and could last until March. La Nina is part of a natural climate cycle that can cause extreme weather across the planet. Northern parts of South America could see more rain than usual. Southern regions of the U.S. and parts of Mexico could be drier than average, and the northern tier of the U.S. and southern Canada could be wetter than average. Vice President Kamala Harris brought her presidential campaign back to Wisconsin Thursday with stops on 3 college campuses. Israel's war in the Mideast intersected with presidential politics in Milwaukee at UW-Milwaukee, where Harris commented on the killing of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar by the Israeli military. She said the United States, Israel, and the entire world are better off, and said Sinwar was responsible for the killing of thousands of innocent people. Protesters opposing U.S. support of Israel's war in Gaza were outside the UWM student union. There were no reports of any arrest, and Harris moved on to campaign events in La Crosse and Green Bay. In La Crosse, Harris was back to touting her plans for her presidency if elected, saying she'll offer a leg up for the young Americans and first-time homeowners. She also called out Donald Trump for being an unserious candidate and accused him of planning to cut social services for Americans. She also urged people to register to vote. In Manitowoc County, charges are filed in the death of 3-year-old Elijah Vu. During a brief Thursday press conference, District Attorney Jacqueline Labray detailed the charges against the little boy's mother, Katrina Bauer, and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang. Vang is being charged with physical abuse of a child, repeated acts causing death, hiding a corpse, and obstructing an officer. Katrina Bauer is being charged with chronic neglect of a child, consequences of death, child neglect, and obstructing an officer. A bail hearing is scheduled for Friday afternoon. Skeletal remains found last month were confirmed to be those of Elijah, who went missing from Vang's Two Rivers apartment in February. The DA also asked that the media and the public respect the privacy of Elijah's family as they navigate this heartbreaking time. A new report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows Wisconsin children are behind other states in getting vaccines, leaving children and communities vulnerable to outbreaks. Using data from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, the CDC compared the vaccination rates of kindergartners for the 2023-24 school year to data from other states and found Wisconsin children are behind in important childhood vaccines, including polio, pertussis, diphtheria, and tetanus, and measles, mumps, and rubella. Most notably, the report shows only 84.8% of Wisconsin kindergartners were up to date on their MMR vaccine, while nationally 92.7% of children have received the MMR vaccine. As a result of that decline, diseases like measles and pertussis have increased across the U.S. in recent years. DHS monitors vaccination rates to identify areas that may be at most risk for the spread of communicable diseases, which can impact the health of people statewide. Vaccines are available statewide at doctors' offices, clinics, pharmacies, and health departments. DHS supports Wisconsin communities and residents who do not have health insurance or whose insurance may not cover vaccines to make sure people can access them through grant programs and the Vaccines for Children or Vaccines for Adults programs. Information about the recommended vaccines for children and teens can be found on the DHS website. The Wisconsin Immunization Registry lets families see if they're up to date on their vaccines and which shots they may still need. The project team conducted the first bridge demolition blast yesterday morning of the old Wisconsin 130-133 bridge in Lone Rock. Crews will continue removing the bridges and excavating the old roadway corridor the next several weeks. Trucks will continue to enter and exit the work zone at the Wisconsin 130 Long Island staging area access. Please take caution when driving through the work zone. The north channel of the river remains open. The south channel remains closed. Once crews remove the southernmost steel truss from the river, the south channel will be opened and the north channel will be closed for bridge demolition. This is planned to happen in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Cross Currents Heritage Center is an educational and cultural organization committed to preserving and interpreting the natural, indigenous, and European settler history of southwest Wisconsin. It is located on the Tepisaki Farm Rural Historic District, offering tours, classroom visits, teacher training, and other programs, workshops, and events, often in partnership with others. Cross Currents Heritage Center will host Old Seeds, New Growth, stories about trees, seeds, and growing strong Saturday from 3:30 to 5. Ben Moffitt is an organizer of the event.
My wife, who was born and raised in Hawaii, is going to do a storytelling show that she's done there many times. And she tells some traditional Hawaiian stories. She also does some Hawaiian chant. And she surprises you with her amazing story skirt, which she sewed herself. And I won't give everything away, but there are all sorts of pockets and things that come out of it. And the reason we're doing it is because in these woodlots and on the farm, we're trying to protect and preserve the native species. And so her story is about native Hawaiian trees and plants. And she will tell some stories, native Hawaiian stories that are about trees.
Janine Oshiro's program is for families with children 5 and older, but all are invited to attend.
But if you're an adult and just young at heart, you will enjoy it anyway, because it was really designed for adults, and then she kind of spiced it up for kids.
The program will be held in the old house, which means seating is limited to 25. If you are interested in attending, it is best to RSVP.
Send an email to crosscurrentsheritage@gmail.com. crosscurrentsheritage@gmail.com. There's more information at crosscurrents.org and at our Facebook page, Cross Currents Heritage Center.
The farm is located at 14640 State Highway 60 near Port Andrew. It's the first farm west of the Blue River Bridge.